Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Previously, we met the landlord who was housing our defendant, one Mr. Garadeb, as well as his maid, a Joan. Don't know her full name yet, but it's probably going to be puntastic if I know this series. And with their blessing, we entered the room that the defendant is living in. Quite a lot of books. And who should be here but Herlock Sholmes? And now we're talking to him. Just met him, so let's get going already, huh? I'm excited. I kind of miss this guy. What an honor to be remembered vaguely by the great Herlock Sholmes. This is Mr. Oh, no, my dear madame, hold your tongue. I pride myself on my superior powers of recollection. Your names are safely recorded in my brain attic. Miss Naruhodo, and Mr. Susato. Try the other way around, Mr. Sholmes. I lose the first round. Classic Sholmes. In truth, I had hoped to invite you both to my Baker Street suite the day we arrived in London. But some Scotland Yarders ambushed me at the railway station and whisked me away to a crime scene. It was an entirely trivial case, of course. I solved the matter in no more than 30 minutes. So they apprehended Sosuke-san in that short an amount of time? I'm afraid the pursuance of a new case has dulled my recollection of my past involvements a little. A little? It is a mistake to think that one's brain attic has elastic walls and can distend to any extent. I do my best to forget useless facts lest they should elbow out the useful ones. Yes, those are my own words of inimitable wisdom, you know, from an adventure entitled A Study in Scarlet. Oh, I think I've heard that one. Please, there's no need to quote yourself. I don't always remember my pearls of wisdom, but fortunately my associate pens them beautifully. It means iris, I suppose. Mr. Sholmes, we have some extremely important questions to ask you about the trivial case you just mentioned. Goodness, what an earnest expression. My dear madame, I should be only too pleased. And this murky room is an apt place to discuss the murky case. Well, first of all, let's present some stuff. Mr. Naruhodo, please. Despite aspersions to the contrary, I am a professional. If I am to unleash my deductive powers on that trinket, I must ask for a sum of £3 in cash. I respect the hustle. Oh, I don't need you to make any deductions about it. I was just wondering if you might know... Mr. Naruhodo, as a professional, I insist that if I am to offer my opinion on that trinket, I must ask for a sum of £3 in cash. I believe Mr. Sholmes has his eye on an expensive copy of the complete works of Shakespeare. Sure. Yes, to stand on the stage amidst rapturous applause. It has long been a dream of mine, as you know. I literally had no idea. There. How about the local map? Have you seen this, Mr. Sholmes? Shush! I must have silence! It is of the first importance when I am in the throes of deduction that nothing irrelevant distracts me. Oh, sorry. Cloudy changing to fair, perhaps. You're in the throes of deducing the weather? It's really funny because we're in a windowless room. Anything about the receipt? Ah, the receipt for the books our stooped Japanese friend purchased. I uncovered that yesterday morning. A marvelous find, wouldn't you agree? Oh, yes, the work of a truly great detective. What a scatterbrained individual he must be to have left behind. Curiously, there was no mention of this publication on the receipt. Odd when you consider how fascinating it is. You mean not everyone in London buys Rant's magazine every time they visit a shop? Yes, odd indeed. Oh, Mr. Sholmes, how expertly you slipped that into the conversation. I'm glad you agree. Detective stories can be great works of literature too, my dear fellow. Fair enough. Now, on to more important matters. Mr. Natsume's arrest. We know this to be the lodgings of a Japanese foreign student by the name of Soseki Natsume. It seems that you assisted in his arrest, Mr. Sholmes, for the stabbing of a young woman outside here on Briar Road. Natsume. Yes, I believe it was a name rather along those lines. But Mr. Natsume denies it. Was it really justifiable to arrest him on so little? I'm sorry, Mr. Sato, but I have not the slightest idea what you mean. What? I can't believe he was looking Susato-san squarely in the eye while feigning ignorance. I assure you, I am not merely feigning ignorance. It would appear as if the pair of you are under some misapprehension. Oh? How? I assure you, I have no recollection of accusing your stooped compatriot of the crime. But that doesn't make sense. The good detective of Scotland Yard made the following request of me, and I quote verbatim. We need you to ascertain the identity and whereabouts of a man seen fleeing the crime scene. Okay, yeah, that actually does absolve Holmes quite a bit. Sholmes, sorry. He found the man who fled. The assumptions of the police did the rest. Ah, a man seen fleeing. There were a number of books scattered on the pavement at the scene. From the book plates, I was quickly able to determine the bookshop from which they had been purchased. On speaking with the proprietor, I was immediately led to this address. Elementary, wouldn't you say? I believe there is a receipt around here somewhere from this establishment in question. So you don't think Mr. Natsume is the culprit, then? That I could not tell you. But it was aggravating my faculties, hence why I returned here. However, this place is such a trove of fascinating books, I found myself quite lost in bibliophily. I've heard of bibliography, but not bibliophily. Does he mean bibliophile? I have a feeling for books too. Fair enough. Do not be deceived into believing that I am a man of leisure. No, no, no. Oh dear. How about the landlord? Tell me. Have you encountered the landlord of these lodgings? Yes, Mr. Garadeb, a retired military man. It was the first time I've ever met a soldier from the great British institution that is the services. And it was the first time I've ever met a maid from the great British institution that is... service. I didn't think it was that funny. I do apologize. As you may well be aware, many households in London employ a maid. Yes, I read as much in my Great Britain primer. And so, conversely, whether or not a household employs a maid has come to betoken the social standing of those dwelling therein. Betoken their social standing? Sorry? Put simply, my dear fellow, those who employ at least a single maid are considered middle class. Those who do not are beneath that. In the upper echelons of society, of course, households employ enough staff to constitute a large family.
Goodness, how extraordinary.
As you can appreciate, for those on the precarious boundary between the middle and lower classes, being able to afford just one maid is of the first importance. I had no idea. And it is for precisely that reason that I find great stimulation in the situation upstairs. Specifically in the retired Army veteran, Mr. John Garadeb. Oh? Affable as he is, the fellow is hiding something. Whether or not it imposes on the circumstances of this case, I am as yet unable to ascertain. Well, we're on the same page there. I'm thoroughly lost on what he means to say. Don't worry, Ryunosuke, I'll do the thinking for the both of us. How about the dingy room? This room is thoroughly suffocating for the soul, my dear fellow. I assure you, any man whose lot is to dwell in a place such as this will stab somebody sooner or later. Wow. Here I am, last video, calling this room wonderful. I've only ever felt like stabbing someone once, thank you.
Mr. Natsume has stabbed no one.
But sooner or later, as I said.
I don't believe that's the issue here.
About this dark little room, Mr. Sholmes. Why is there no longer a window? Do you have any idea? No window? Well, I mean, I can clearly see that there is a window of sorts. But it's been completely blocked with bricks. Ah, I see. The answer to that question is quite simple. Window tax. Window tax? What is that?
Surely not a tax on windows?
Precisely that. What?
Oh my goodness!
Until relatively recently, a tax was levied on households in this country by the number of their windows. That is fucking ridiculous. What the hell? Those of lesser means, having inherited a sizable and costly family home perhaps, rapidly closed windows up. While the rich opened windows here, there, and everywhere. In an effort to curry favor with those in power by furnishing them with large sums of tax money. Oh, the rich wanting to pay taxes? Oh, that's how you know this game's fictional.
How awful and unjust, forcing people to live in rooms devoid of light?
Indeed, disease was rife as a result. So, some 40 years ago, or thereabouts, the window tax was abolished. 40 years, you say? But its legacy remains, as you can see, in squalid lodgings such as these, for example. I suppose Mr. Natsume's stipend for living here in London isn't very generous, perhaps. It would appear so. I've done a little digging, and discovered that these lodgings were offered at an extraordinarily low price.
Because the room is so awful, I should think.
Apparently Mr. Natsume only moved in here about 1 week ago. Yes, that's correct. However, I don't believe the low rent is explained by the shabby nature of the accommodation. Oh? Still, that is of little relevance here, a matter not worthy of further attention. I'll be the judge of that. Spill the beans. Are you sure? I'm curious now. Well, I believe I've told you all I can now. Thank you, Mr. Sholmes. Yes, Mr. Naruhodo. Was it not your intention to become a practitioner of law? You remembered that, did you? Will you perhaps be offering your services in this very matter, I wonder? To the occupant of this room, Mr. Natsume, was it? I'm not sure. Not sure? On what grounds? Well, I actually defended someone in court here only yesterday. Really? Well then, I congratulate you, sir, on an ambition realized, and so promptly, too. The thing is, it's really made me question things. Am I right to believe in my clients, to trust in their innocence? Yes, trust. Mr. Sholmes. Mr. Natsume didn't do it, did he? My dear fellow, I haven't the first idea. Oh, but I thought that's why you were here. Didn't you come back to investigate? Yes, that was indeed my initial intention. But there are simply too many fascinating books here. I couldn't possibly ignore them. Oh, I see. Nevertheless, there are two facts that I can state quite unequivocally. The man who fled the scene of the crime 2 days ago was the Japanese occupant of this room, and there are witnesses who swear to having seen the same man commit the crime. That is all I can say. And one more thing.
Oh, what is it, Mr. Sholmes? Tell us.
I cannot say with any certainty whether or not it is of relevance to this case, but I am quite sure that the retired army man who owns this property is hiding something. Mr. Garadeb is... Mr. Sholmes said as much before, actually, didn't he? Anyway, at present, that is really all that plays on my mind in relation to the case.
Mr. Naruhodo, as yet our investigations have uncovered nothing that could help establish Mr. Natsume's innocence.
No, you're right. Perhaps it's time we probed a little deeper into Mr. Garadeb's secret. Just remember, I cannot be sure whether the landlord's secret will prove to be of relevance or not. But I wish you every success, of course, Mr. Naruhodo. A busy man indeed. He's gone back to his book in the corner of the room. Well, we've definitely seen all we can here, unless we can look at him again. Excuse me, Mr. Sholmes? Yes, so true. To be or not to be? That is indeed the question, Mr. Naruhodo. To be or not to be brushed off? That is the question. And the answer is all too clear.
Let's leave Mr. Sholmes in peace, shall we?
Sure. Let's move back and see about Mr. Garadeb. You pair again. Tell me, what's the detective chap, I forget his name, still hard at work down there?
Mr. Herlock Sholmes?
Yes, rings a vague bell. All that detective business isn't really my thing, I'm afraid. Well, Mr. Sholmes is in his element down there. Jolly good show. He would say that. Another cup of tea, if you please, Joan. Now then, why don't you tell me what... For the umpteenth time, woman, will you watch what you're bally well doing?
I shall be serving dinner shortly, sir.
Yes, of course. Frankly, rude of me, but I'm afraid I shall have to ask you to take your leave if you be so kind. Man, it's not like Garadeb is harboring a secret. He seems all too eager to talk. It's the maid who just shuts him up.
Ah, yes, of course. We are deeply grateful for all your assistance.
Not at all, not at all. Don't get much chance to talk with young foreigners like yourselves. It's been a pleasure. Best of luck and all that. Perhaps you could see yourselves out.
According to Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Garadeb is hiding something.
And
since no other avenues of investigation seem open to us at the moment, perhaps we should do some digging. I wonder what could be... Ooh.
Wait, we've seen this. There's a check mark and everything.
Huh? Oh, son of a...
Okay, you couldn't actually see him from this screen. The button was... okay.
I really can't say I expected that. What's he doing over there? Mr. Sholmes?
Aha! We meet again, my dear fellows. Good gracious, when did you sneak in here?
Herlock Sholmes, sir, at your service. Whatever were you doing over by the window?
I am given to watching the evening sky as the sun sets, madame. Yet, sadly, cheerful as the room downstairs undoubtedly is, it lacks an aperture for such observation. So I took the liberty of borrowing a small corner of space by the window up here. Well...
Keeping an eye to one's windows at dusk is the prudent thing to do in London, I'm gathering.
Ah, and one other thing, Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh, me?
I thought perhaps you might be in need of a certain great detective's great mind.
Wait, he's not talking about... Is he? I didn't expect to be going through that again so soon. If there's one way to cut through that maid, it's Holmes's brashness. Sholmes? Sorry. Do you mean Mr. Sholmes?
There is a mighty secret in this modest room. My eyes see even the most trivial of trifles. I take it you're prepared, Mr. Naruhodo.
I think so.
There is just time enough for one of my greatly admired great deductions. Let us conclude the matter before dark.
Hell yeah.
Mr. Garadeb, though it would seem you are a military man of considerably distinguished service, your standing as a landlord is most certainly not what one might call first-rate.
Huh?
I'm afraid, sir, that it is all too clear to me. There are two conclusions I have been able to draw by careful observation of your living arrangements.
I beg your pardon?
The first is that even as we speak, you are concealing the presence of a ferocious beast in your care.
Huh?
But... And the second is that as a result of the beast's violent rampage, you have lost something very dear to you.
Oh, Mr. Naruhodo, look! The old man's broken out in a cold sweat. Unbelievably, it seems Mr. Sholmes' conclusions are both spot on. How could you possibly? How could I possibly know, you mean to inquire? The answer couldn't be simpler, sir. For in the dense jungle of logic and reasoning, I am the king of beasts. Oh! And I know only too well that wild beasts are not easily tamed. So, shall we begin? Once again, Herlock Sholmes is proud to present his Logic and Reasoning Spectacular. Topic 1. Nature of the Beast. It certainly shouldn't take a great detective to see that a fearsome beast has been on the rampage of late within these four walls. Thus we are faced with the question, what form might this beast take? For a man with a military breeding, your eyes are uncommonly candid. Your furtive glance, Mr. Garadeb, led us directly to the answer. The true nature of the beast that has run rampant here is revealed by that lion statue. Yes, though an army man, you appear unimposing at best. A fact that has fueled your admiration for the mighty lion, the king of beasts. What is this piffle, I ask you? In the end, your admiration became so great, in fact, that you had a living, breathing specimen shipped from India, which you tried to keep in this very house. What? Well... Oh, hold on. I just saw something he doesn't want me to see. It looks like there's a palm mark on his face. Boy, I was like, man, at first I was like, okay, maybe there's a reason he's only distinctly showing one side of his face to me. But then I saw this art, this art of him just looking at the camera straight on. I was like, maybe they're just going for a stylish thing. Maybe the shape of his hair is just part of the character design they want to accentuate. But no, he's hiding some sort of mark on his face. What the hell? Yet living with such a wild beast proved more difficult than you had imagined. The chilling traces of a wild rampage are still very much in evidence. Well... as we look around, the beast in question fails to present itself. Where could this angry creature have disappeared to? Madame? Me? I pray you do not consider me unchivalrous, but it is plain to me that with one glance in your direction... It is? Your dress pocket gives us a handsome clue as to the beast's current whereabouts. For protruding from it is a handbill advertising a circus show. Oh! Yes, you sought to dispose of this terrifying lion, Mr. Garadeb. At Batty's Circus. At least it's not very big circus. A traveling show currently sojourning to a nearby park. I have observed the tents. You sold the savage lion, sir, to the circus troupe. I most certainly did not. I believe I have made my point. The fearsome beast which ran amok in this room was an Indian lion. I don't even think India has lions. And a simple visit to the circus now will reveal the lion prancing jubilantly through a ring of fire. Topic 2. Aftermath. Now, Mr. Garadeb. It is plainly clear that you still have deep feelings for this formidable beast. Indeed, in that blithe pose, the distress that this loss has caused you is veritably tangible. Your head weighs heavy on your shoulders, the pain you feel being revealed by that supporting arm. Amid fits of tears, you let your beloved beast go. The strain of losing something so dear to you is clearly visible in your visage.
Nonsense, man. I simply...
But what we must now ask ourselves is the true cause of this pain. And we need only follow the direction of your gaze to find the answer. Yes, it is this pile of bills that has given rise to the pain you suffer. Every envelope contains another demand for payment. For cartloads of meat, potatoes, wheat, and tea. Indeed, feeding your beloved has a devastating impact on the financial circumstances of your household. And so you had no choice but to let it go.
Yes, well,
Now, in a final fit of rage, the ferocious beast carried out one last unimaginable attack. Unimaginable? The aftermath of which can be clearly seen by observing the carpet over there. A very expensive woolen carpet, if I am not mistaken. Oh, dearie me. What could have caused such a destructive outburst? This time, madame, I'm afraid it is you who has inadvertently revealed the truth to me. Your wondering eye has settled upon the answer very neatly indeed. Yes, to explain the dire state of the carpet, we need only look at the Tower of Cakes. There is no creature more dangerous on this earth than a beast with an unsatiated appetite. Was it or was it not once said by a certain noblewoman, "If they have no bread, let them eat cake"? Food is at the heart of all tragedy, in fact. Whatever do you mean? Having tired of the taste of cake, the beast began to stalk its next prey. I'm sure I need not spell out the nature of this final act of destruction carried out by the beast. There is only one logical conclusion. Worked into a frenzy by hunger, the lion attacked and ate the carpet. The teeth marks in the carpet are a perfect match with those of a lion I once saw in India. Carpet gnawed on by the starving lion. Thus concludes Herlock Sholm's great deduction of this beastly puzzle.
what is the matter with you, Joan? You're pouring scalding hot tea all over me.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Garadeb. I'm afraid I didn't notice. My deductions can be startlingly sharp. It stands to reason that your cup runneth over. Indeed, my revelations can make the people spill tears at times too. Oh. Mr. Sholmes, sorry to butt in again, but could I make an observation? Why, certainly, Mr. Naruhodo. What is it? Again. Well, your deductions just now. Do you really think a lion could have fit inside a room of this size? Indeed, it is the only explanation for the facts. The terrifying truth all too often lies beyond the realms of common sense. But wouldn't it be an idea to consider what lies inside the realms of common sense as well? But if an uncaged lion had run amok in this very room, surely Mr. Garrideb and his maid would have been hurt, or worse. Ah, that's where you are stuck. No doubt the former military man held his own against the beast using that large cannon. I thought you said that they sold the lion to the circus. And what about the food? Meat and potatoes are one thing. But I don't believe I have ever heard of a lion that drinks tea. Ah, my dear Ms. Susato, it occurs to me with some regularity that irrespective of race and breeding, whenever anyone lands on Great British soil, they are infused with a highly appropriate taste for afternoon tea. I do enjoy a good peppermint tea. Oh, what a glorious notion. Wait, you're saying the lion got the craving for tea because it's on British... Oh my god. Well then, Mr. Naruhodo, it's your turn to shine again. I had a feeling that was coming. A slight massage? That's all Mr. Sholmes' deductions need. You can do it. Excellent. I've been waiting for my trusty partner in deduction to step forward, Mr. Naruhodo. We don't even know yet whether or not this is going to help with Mr. Natsume's case. Still, uncovering the truth is always worthwhile, whatever the motivation. At least that's what I want to believe. Let us start again, from the beginning of Herlock Sholmes' Logic and Reasoning Spectacular. Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. This will be good. I already have a few good ideas here. It certainly shouldn't take a great detective to see that a fearsome beast has been on the rampage of late within these four walls. Thus we are faced with the question, what form might this beast take? Ah, for a man with a military breeding, your eyes are uncommonly candid. Your furtive glance, Mr. Garrideb, leads us directly to the answer. The true nature of the beast that has run rampant here is revealed by that lion statue. I really didn't see the lion thing coming. No, but if you observe Mr. Garrideb's reaction, it rather seems as though some beast did indeed run amok here in this room. Yes, something with a very fierce nature. But it couldn't have been a lion transported from India. So what was it then? Oh, I think that was... Yeah, that was Susato, my bad. We must follow Mr. Garrideb's gaze. That'll lead us to the true answer. Oh. That is a wedding photo. Those hair curls, the general body shape. Is Joan his wife? Oh, that's interesting. But let's look at everything. The mortar shells. These are shells for the cannon, are they? What a strange place to keep them. Yeah, over an open flame. I imagine they have some significance to Mr. Garrideb from his time in the army. Oh, of course. He mentioned a battle to us before, didn't he? Do you remember? He said that he'd been shot in the knee, perhaps it was one of these that hit him. If around that size had hit his knee, there'd be nothing left of it, or Mr. Gerdeb for that matter. Mr. Sholmes has a Persian slipper, and this man has spent shells. Perhaps it's customary in Britain to display, well, rubbish on the mantelpiece. Well, this is the lion statue that Mr. Sholmes picked out. Yes, I wonder. Perhaps if you did live with the lion, it would prove to be a rather sweet companion. I think that's like a mouse trying to tell its family that the cat around the house is sweet. I suppose it is a bit of a flight of fancy, isn't it? Anyway, the beast we're looking for is something else. Let's have a good look around. That brings us to the photograph. Very peculiar ring. Looks like a flower. What's this photograph? It appears to be from Mr. Gerdeb's wedding. He looks very happy, doesn't he? He does, but you can't make out his bride. No, how unfortunate. Someone must have struck the glass directly over the woman's face. I wonder what happened. Probably best not to delve too deeply there. Wow, we can look at things directly. Damn. This must have been when Mr. Gerdeb was still in the army. He seems to be carrying his rather stout bride effortlessly and beaming a smile at the same time. I suppose he was very strong in his younger years. Hard to imagine now. He's as thin as a rake. The glass is broken, so you can't see the bride's face at all. But no amount of cracks could hide the woman's plump form. I think powerful would be kinder than plump, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, she certainly looks that. There's a lot of horsepower there. Oh my god! Come on, dude. Have a little tact with the ladies. Not someone you'd want to upset, that's for sure. Oh, look, have you noticed her wedding ring? It's very large, isn't it? Yes, that's an unusual design. It looks like some sort of embellished sunflower.
Take that!
The true nature of the beast that has run rampant here is revealed by that newlywed bride. Precisely, Mr. Naruhodo. No other explanation could possibly fit. Sholmes, your argument has completely fallen apart. And every single thing you have just said earlier has to be recontextualized now because there's no lion in your hypothesis now. Yes, this framed print pictures your wife, Mr. Gerdeb. No, pictures your wife, Mr. Gerdeb. And while we lament the fact that her face is obscured, we can still make out her mighty arms and note the considerable horsepower they must contain. Indeed, surely any woman of such powerful constitution would be honored to be described as a beast. Bro. Dude. Look, I have no game whatsoever, and even I know. Dude, you don't talk about ladies like this. Honored might be stretching a point. Too late. The fact remains that the beast, which has so clearly savaged this room, was your wife, Mr. Gerdeb. Garg. Oh, I'm starting to think I know what the slap is from. The chilling traces of a wild rampage are still very much in evidence. Well. Yet as we look around, the beast in question fails to present itself. Where could this angry creature have disappeared to? Madame? Me? I pray you do not consider me unchivalrous, but it is plain to me with one glance in your direction. It is. Your dress pocket gives us a handsome clue as to the beast's current whereabouts. The poor, fragile, defenseless woman is beside herself. Well, I don't know about fragile. Oh dear. Anyway, Mr. Sholmes is quite right. There's no sign of a Mrs. Garadeb anywhere. But it seems there may be a clue as to her whereabouts. A clue that this maid is trying to hide. I wonder where Mr. Garadeb's wife could be. Oh. Yeah, look at that. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Yeah, that's a wide palm did that. So, well, we got mean-spirited fat jokes and spousal abuse. I'm feeling pretty dang uncomfortable right here. That certainly does appear to be a circus handbill poking out from her pocket. Baddie's Circus, currently performing shows in a park not far from here. You don't think... Surely Mr. Garadeb didn't sell his wife to the circus? Oh my god. Mr. Naruhodo, how could you even think such a thing? I was only joking. Besides, I would have gone with, do you think he fed her to this pet lion? Oh my god. That's somehow worse. Two tightly shut eyes to avoid even the chance of a giveaway glance. Pursed lips to prevent any secrets from slipping out. Rounded cheeks to deflect any abuse that might be hurled her way. Yes, this is an unnervingly powerful woman, Miss Usato. It's your turn of phrase that's unnerving, Mr. Naruhodo. What a charming little teapot, and it's in pristine condition. Joan has been pouring some deliciously fragrant tea from it for Mr. Garadeb, hasn't she? Well, not so much for Mr. Garadeb, as on Mr. Garadeb, wouldn't you say? I wouldn't dream of drawing attention to it. How about her finger? Oh! There it is. Huh. She's wearing a very large ring. Look. Oh yes, a sunflower design with some rather nice embellishments. And it's on the ring finger of her left hand, which means it's surely a wedding ring. Looks like it's on there for life, too. I can't imagine it would slide off her finger of that size. That's something to think, Mr. Naruhodo, not to say. Do you know, Mr. Garadeb's wife in the photograph had a ring very much like this one? It was a large sunflower design as well. Oh, really? You have a great memory for these things. A large sunflower wedding ring. It's quite a coincidence that they have the same ring, isn't it?
Take that!
Your wedding ring gives us a handsome clue as to the beast's current whereabouts. Ah! Indeed it does. That flowery band gleaming on your finger gives you away. For it is identical to the one shown on the hand of Mr. Garadeb's bride in this photographic print. In other words, you are no ordinary household maid. Oh my god, yeah, they were just talking about how maids are a symbol of status. Wow. She just dresses up as a maid to fool guests. What the hell? No. You are Mr. Garadeb's lucky bride. You are Mrs. Garadeb herself. Oh my word! Well, jolly fine detecting, sir. As you rightly surmise, this is my wife, yes, my Joan. Rather let herself go, you might say, but she was bally corker ag! It would appear that you don't live in the most comfortable of circumstances. After all, you are a retired army man, yet you are in the business of renting out rooms. Phew. I would assume, therefore, you have insufficient means to employ a maid. Would that be correct? It's not right, I tell you. I was second lieutenant of the 3rd Regiment. A man has his pride, don't you know? My golly, it's a sorry thing when a chap can't even afford to have a single maid in his employ. Yes, here in London, one is rather judged. A household cannot be considered worthy of society if it employs no staff at all. Though in my considered opinion, such concerns about appearances are a folly. You mean Mr. Garadeb has his wife work as his maid? Precisely. Am I right, Mr. Garadeb? Only in company, obviously. But listen here, this must remain a secret. Tip-top secret, please. The raging wife of Mr. Garadeb. Solved. And topic 2, aftermath. Right, I should probably end things here. There were a lot of things in this one compared to the first that I'll need to correct, and I think I might only be able to solve it in like 20 minutes, not 7, so here is as natural a stopping point as we can get, so fair enough. So we're what, 4 videos into this case now? 5? We still have nothing to go on in terms of defending Natsume. Like, it's clear that there was some sort of spousal abuse here. Some good old domestic violence. And while this couple may be the landlords of Natsume, I completely failed to see from here how it could be relevant, like, at all. Like, boy, you know what would be nice? Visiting the hospital. Maybe after all this wraps up and we're looking for a new lead, we could get news that, like, oh hey, the stabbed woman woke up, we can interview her. But, honestly, I'm pretty sure that stabbed woman is just flat out doomed. with the exception of the spin-off game, Professor Layton vs. Phoenix Wright, every single trial in this franchise, without question, has involved a murder in some way. So things really aren't looking good for the unconscious lady. Domestic violence ain't funny, folks. If a woman hits a man, that's not a comedy. That's awful. Okay, look, I'm not appreciating the game with throwing out tasteless fat jokes, especially from our protagonist who's supposed to be a good person. But, hopefully there aren't, like, jokes cracked about this. It's just... It feels like low-hanging fruit that I feel like Ace Attorney would be above, but what do I know? Boy, it feels like really nothing that much at all happened this time. I feel like we had one just brief chat with Herlock, and then we started this all up, and boy, this hour just flew by. Usually these hours go by pretty quick when I'm recording Ace Attorney, but boy, this one it feels like I just got teleported into the future. I'm like, is the video really over? But I guess it is, and I don't really have anything else to say, so I'm Zephyr the Jester. This has been more of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll catch you next time. So until then, please take care.